My name is Vincent Harrison, and the lesson that I would like to teach is called the Oxcart Man's Compare and Contrast Past Modern Life Paintings. I would like to teach for fifth graders, and the anticipated time frame is about a week. So the big idea is that I want to explore how paint interacts with different wooden surfaces and to see how early Americans had a different way of life, comparing and contrasting life and art. I feel like this is an important lesson to teach because it's a way for the students to look back past their own perceptions of modern life and to see how far we have come as people in America. So I have my example of my big idea, and I pretty much uh, I compared food delivery from, I guess, the 1800s and modern day, and um, I did a bit of my own creative liberty because clearly Grubhub, I wouldn't believe it would exist back then, for way back then like that. Uh, but I did that on purpose in order to like put that thought of like people from this time, uh, like they pretty much had to wait for, I guess, the man and his ox to come to town with the food and allow them to purchase whatever stock that they need or food that they would want to eat, and that compare and contrast from modern day is like now food delivery is so specific. It goes straight to the people go straight to your house, and it's pretty much as easy as it's ever could be. And it also shows that our mode of transportation has changed over time. We came a long way from an ox in the cart, and now driving in cars going real fast. Yeah. Um, so some key concepts that I would like to teach or I want the students to acquire is painting exposure for one. I want them to be familiarized. I want to familiarize them with the paint medium. Uh, I want to introduce early American paintings. I want to just have them learn about the artists, learn that um, what made some of these artists create the work that they did, and what was going on in their time for them to create the work that they did. Also, uh, like I want them to ponder on what did early Americans do or make to get what they want or need. How are interactions and activities different from now? And also, I want to allow them to develop their compare and contrast skills. Uh, it's important for I feel it's important for students to know these concepts because it exposes the students to the past. It exposes students to the past and and the fact that the way of living has changed over time, and that not everything from interactions and activities is not so different from our own modern way of life. It also want to show students that painting can have a certain look and feel based on what paint is used and how it's applied on its canvas, and and that a chance to develop comparing and contrasting unlike or similar ideas. So pretty much like when they do create it, like it doesn't have to be like a super uh, like direct parallel. It can be as big or as loose as they want it to, or as big as loose as they can come up with. No, it's pretty much. I just want them to just try to see the parallels of uh, how life has gone by, and it's not just in America. It can really apply to just living in the world, but for teaching, I guess I'm gonna be in America with it. So, yeah. Uh, oh, so pretty much what the students are going to do is that they're going to discuss about what modern interactions activities that are similar from the early ways of life and what in their own modern way of living. Allow them they're going to take time to reflect and learn a little bit about early American way of life, and even some maybe exposing modern day truths or what they maybe stuff that they don't know about their own modern life. I would say they're going to pick from the 3 different services, and these services I would pick for like common surfaces that that early painters found most intriguing for them to paint on. So pretty much I would like for that one. It's like I wanted to have the students feel like or maybe have the students feel like they are following that lineage of what the painters, historic painters that came before, and that we're just continue to do the work of painting. Yeah. And the last thing is that they're gonna paint. Like I said, this is the work. They're gonna paint. They'll paint and compare and contrast early life and their modern life. Some questions that I really want to drive home is for the students is, what does paint look and feel like on its different wooden surfaces? So basically, I feel like I would give them time to even just experiment of painting on the different wooden surfaces, because it might look different. They might find the one surface that they really like to enjoy to paint on, or they find most easiest for them to paint on. And also the other question is, how is or was early American living different? And that's just pretty much how them think past their own perceptions of modern life and seeing where we are and how far we have come. So the lesson is going to go as I'll start off by reading the Oxcart Man, as I said in my title. So Oxcart Man is the inspiration for this lesson, and we can see that it's also a little bit of the inspiration of my artwork that I created, in that the main character, he goes in town with like the haul of fruits and vegetables and whatever labors that his family has done, because his daughter and wife sewed, and his son carved I'm assuming the kitchen knife. Yeah. But pretty much selling what they made for their living, and that could be a potential way of depicting of how like a parallel of like business and selling things, how that's different from then to now. So second thing, to expose the students to the early American paintings. Just pretty much let them familiarize themselves with the painting and the painter. Allow questions and answers for the early American paintings and history, and allow them to reflect on the similar interactions and activities that has happened, and just allowing them reflect on what parallels that they can find or what we can discuss as a class. Then I'll explain the project, that it is a compare and contrast project, and pretty much allow their ideas to come about. And that'll be more question and answering, because for me, I feel like it's not an easy thought for them to do. They could probably, I feel like they just need a little bit of directions of like how to think of the parallels. And then I'll give time for the students to put the paint on canvas. And then of course I'll assist them in any way needed. So the different accommodations, pretty much I would like to have a good number of visuals and paintings, a lot of good references, because I feel like it will help tremendously, because how else will they see? How else will they know if I don't have, I don't open that window for them. Have many different types of brushes and the 3 different wooden canvases, pretty much allow them that whatever they want, how, like, also be able to teach them that each brush has a different brush stroke, and they can get different lines and different textures with the paint, with the different brushes. And the wooden surfaces, as I said before, just pretty much seeing like the most popular paint surfaces done in their time to be painted on. And then of course the biggest one is the one-on-one assistance with whatever thoughts and parallels that they come up with, and even how or even what to paint. So I believe, well, say this here too, materials or wood surfaces. For me, I did mine as an acrylic painting. I feel like I'll still keep it as that, because I feel like it's a little bit easier. But I would still even try to challenge the students to do a painting in oil-based paint. And of course, I'll need the brushes, and probably need more things. But these are things that I came up with for the few things that I came up for the lesson, for what we need for the lesson. But you can write me on the comment section about that. That's fine. And then finally, presenting. The work, I will have the artwork that they create be displayed outside the classroom for pretty much everyone to see. Just seeing like we got some these kids are big thinkers, and they can see past like their own perceptions of like, oh, this is a fun. This is one way life has been, and this is how it's similar to life now. And then, but before that, I would want to give the time to for the students to talk about their work and to the class, and allow them to like explain like why they chose to depict what they wanted to compare and contrast. And some of my rationale for this is that the audience is their peers, and the people passing. Well, the audience is the peers and the people passing by the displayed work. And I want to give them feedback. All feedback is going to be given as more as praise for taking on the challenge. But if anything, if I get any students that find the painting as an interesting way for them to go, and what they would like to do, or they find interest in painting, I want to give them like paint skills, give them like whatever critique that they would like to know about from the painting, and even saying what's going right with their painting, and what could be what areas could use improvement, but not as harsh, because I mean they're young, so they gotta do what they gotta do in this learning. So yeah, that's my lesson, and I hope that it gets taught.